Hello and welcome. So, here we are on lesson number 5, Agile practices, demonstrations called demos or sprint reviews. In lesson number 4, we talked about daily scrum or Agile daily stand ups in detail. We'll follow the same structure for sprint reviews as well. So, let's get started. So, what are we going to discuss in this lesson? We are going to talk about understand what is sprint review, and we will also take a look at how to look at the exam questions, how to prepare for questions related to sprint reviews in the PMP or PMI-ACP exam. And I will have one practice question for you so that you understand how the conceptual understanding relates to actually the practical knowledge or applying it into a project context. So let's get started. Okay, so what do we have here? In Agile, demonstrations or demos or sprint reviews are a critical point where the team shows the product owner or customers and both what they have built in that particular sprint or iteration. These demos focus on completed features, usually represented as user stories. And as we proceed in this course, we will learn about epics, features, and user stories. User story is nothing, I will not go into the details, but user story is a task. You can look at it like a task. So represented as user stories in sprint review, they'll talk about the user stories that they as team have completed, allowing the product owner to review, either accept or decline them. We will also talk about user story acceptance criteria later on, but they will look at it, completed work in layman terms, they'll look at the completed work and they will accept it that, okay, this is what we were expecting, or they will decline it and no, we need something else or we need some improvement. All of that is done in sprint reviews. Now, there are, I told you in the previous lesson as well, there may be two types of agile: iteration based, flow based. I will have a separate chapter for these two and the differences when we discuss life cycle. But just remember that the sprint reviews, the timing may differ based on what type of agile project it is. So, in iteration based agile, which I would say is more common, demos happen at the end of each iteration. In flow based agile, demos happen when features or stories are completed. Okay, frequency at least once every 2 weeks. It should be done. Also depends on the sprint duration, but this is the recommended bit. Purpose, why do we do this? If you remember that when we were discussing agile principles, we talked a lot about customer collaboration even in values and the feedback, how it is important. So that is this practice takes into account those principles of customer collaboration. Why are we doing the project? To deliver value to the customer. So it is important to show the work to the customer so that we are aligned on value creation. Customer gets what they actually want, we can get feedback and we can improve. So that is the purpose of sprint reviews. This aligns. Now the principle is regular feedback and collaboration to ensure the team is on the right path. If demos aren't happening at this frequency, it could be a signal for need of additional coaching. So as an agile coach, you need to talk to the team that, okay, why the sprint reviews are not happening, because they are an essential element of your agile workflow. Now, let's take a look at what are the things that you need to keep in mind when you're solving questions related to sprint reviews or when you're working in an agile manner, because we are not just preparing for the exam, we are also preparing to become better at agile project management. So, first thing, know that sprint reviews focus on demonstrating completed work to stakeholders, completed user stories. The product owner plays a critical role by confirming that deliverables met the definition of done, and also the customer. Acceptance criteria is what we will talk about later on. These reviews promote collaboration and feedback. We know that. Now, let's take a look at one question, a simple question based on this practice. Let's read the question. During a sprint review, stakeholders express dissatisfaction with a delivered feature. What should the agile team do next? Now, what are my options? So, the sprint review happened. One of your customers or stakeholders said that, oh, this is not what we were looking for, or we want something else, or whatever. Some feedback was given which is not positive. So, what are you going to do? First option, adjust the feature in the next sprint based on feedback. Second one, defend the work since it meets the original requirements. What's the point of doing something when the customer is not satisfied with it? So, this can't be your answer. Remove the feature and replace it with a higher priority task. That is not a very productive, efficient way of doing it, because removing that feature is a requirement. So, you cannot remove it from the prioritization. Doing something else will not solve the problem which is there with this feature. The last one, D, is end the meeting and escalate the issue to project manager. No, first of all, project manager will be present in this meeting, and escalating is not never an option because agile teams are self-empowered. So the answer is going to be first one. Let's see if that's correct. Yes, so the correct option is option number A, adjust the feature in the next sprint based on feedback. Why are we doing the sprint review? To make sure that what we are doing is in line with customers' expectations. Followed by this will be retrospective, where we will discuss improvements. So the right way is to handle negative feedback or a user story that is not accepted by the customer is to adjust the feature in the next sprint and fulfill the requirements. Sprint reviews ensure collaboration with stakeholders. The feedback is used to refine the product in future iteration. Course correcting, that's one of the basic principles of agile. So this is what we will do. That's it for this lesson. Next lesson will be retrospectives. I hope this was clear to you. I will see you in the next lesson.